What's up, y'all? Violent here.
Vampiro here.
And welcome to the BMF Wrestling
Show. Oh yeah.
Sierra Hotel, India, Echo, Lima, Delta, Shield.
The Miz has been found.
He's been found?
He's been found. He's been absent for some time now, and no one's known where he is apart from, the Miz and people who did know where he is.
He wasn't in a book called Where's Miz, was he?
No, I don't think he was, but if he was, he would be like here.
Yeah.
Moving on. He's been filming a movie with, I think it's NBC and WWE.
Mind you, it will be straight to TV, was it? Or straight to DVD? Straight to DVD.
More than likely straight to DVD.
Yeah.
It's not very often a WWE film makes it to the cinemas because they're usually abysmal. I didn't mind Miz Has one. I think he's not a bad actor. I didn't mind the Marine Freak. I thought it was pretty good, and I think he did a good job in it. So, be interesting. This one is a different kind of movie. I doubt he'll be shooting people in it. I think it's more of a family movie.
Anyway,
he's alive and he still has a job. And a matter of fact, they probably love him even more because he's doing all their acting gigs. So, moving on. Randy Orton and Cody Rhoades stole the show this week.
They did, man.
They got given a good 10-15 minutes around that mark. Had a great match. I think the two are really out to try and prove themselves again. Orton has been sort of put down back to the mid-card.
Orton's beefed up a little bit too, He's been packing on a bit more muscle, so it's sort of good to see him getting back to the way he was before.
Well, he was big back in the day.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
He's stripped down.
It's getting it back now, so,
Well, it's good to see him and Rhoades. Rhoades, I think, is just desperately trying to prove himself as a star, someone who can compete, instead of just being put in random gimmicks and random tag teams. Not that I have anything wrong with Rhoades Scholars. I actually like the two together.
Yeah.
I think they're a good combination, but I think Rhoades, after WrestleMania, is just really trying to prove himself.
I was actually surprised that Damian Sandow was nowhere near the ring, so it was just something that you'd think for a tag team, you usually have your partner.
Oh, but they're not officially a tag team. They're on their reunion tour.
Oh, okay.
So they come and go as they please.
Yeah, cool.
So it's convenient for WWE. Anyway, good to see the two get a chance to shine. They did a good job and had an outstanding match. Also an outstanding match that they had this week. Another highlight was
Kofi Kingston and Dolph Ziggler.
We've seen the match 100 times before, but it never gets old. The two put on great matches together.
Matches.
And it was good to see Ziggler come out with a win for a change.
It was a really, really good match with Dolph Ziggler and Kofi Kingston. They always perform really well.
Good chemistry. And congratulations goes out to Kofi as well, who's just become a dad.
Oh yeah, congratulations.
So, congratulations, Kofi. All the best. Wish you all the best of luck. Congratulations. Moving on. Now we have to take a moment of silence for the career of Antonio Cesaro.
May it rest in peace.
May it rest in peace. May it find happiness somewhere else, because clearly he's not getting any in WWE at all. So let's bow our head. No, I'm not going to bow my head. WWE is mentally handicapped as they are allowing one of the greatest talents they have at the moment to be completely buried week after week. And not even get a win. This dude was being pushed late last year. He was being pushed as an unstoppable mid-carder. Held the US title forever.
And he even put on a really good match in this one. He tried his hardest.
He does.
He was selling it. It was really good, doing a good match and everything. But
he's a great in-ring performer. There's WWE. There are very few people who are a better in-ring performer than Antonio Cesaro. And now seeing him yodeling and everything, we've gone on about this before, it's a waste of his talents. It's a waste of another potential star, which is what WWE needs at the moment, as they've only got 5 people around the world title category.
If anything, my opinion is they should stop focusing on some of the older superstars that have already established themselves in the business, and they should start focusing on the younger stars, because now is the perfect time for that.
Even in that regard, you have WWE superstars who are at that level and could be used at that level, but aren't.
Yeah.
You have Mark Henry's gone back down to a mid-card feud with Sheamus at the moment. Randy Orton hasn't had a world title shot in how long?
And he was impressive this week, so...
Big Show, who lost the title, hasn't had a shot. Do you think he would be sort of up there?
It just seems to be circulating around the same people all the time.
Kane hasn't had a WWE title shot for
God knows how long,
about a year, when he first came back and had that feud with Daniel Bryan and CM Punk. Kane is a former... big Kane advocate. I still think it's criminal how few world titles he's actually had. I mean, his first was for 24 hours, and his second one was 10 years later.
And for a very long time, he's been in the business too.
Exactly, and there's no one better to be that big world champion than Kane.
And then
Especially
you, get
now with the mask back
then you get someone like John Cena, who's been in the business a lot less than Kane, and he's had multiple title shots.
12, what's he
No,
at,
it's about
13,
14
14 now?
now, I think.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I get that John Cena's the face of the company. Kane was never the face of the company. He was a big time face, big time heel, but never that face.
Well, we sort of jumped from Antonio Cesaro here, but it's,
I know,
it's all connected.
The point of what I'm saying is that they have so many other established world championship contenders that don't get used.
Yeah.
As well as mid-card guys who are ready for that call-up. Like, look at Dolph Ziggler has been put down so long that it's still not feeling like he's a world champion.
No.
And that's because they left it too long. So he's got to try twice as hard to put himself up.
I think with that they were trying to build up a lot of anticipation for his title shot, but at the same time they were also killing it.
Yeah, they're squashing him
They're
week after
squashing
week.
him,
You
so-
can't take him
No.
serious as a world champion.
No.
Anyway, WWE needs to focus on the future talent. And moving on to the future as well, we've got some news about The Rock's WWE future. Now, recently, Vince McMahon had a meeting with stockholders and whatnot in regards to the future of the company. And one of the questions that the stockholders actually brought up, reportedly, was, will The Rock be returning as a wrestler in the future? And Vince was very, very, very clear in what he said. He said, absolutely. He said there's no doubt in his mind, allegedly, reportedly. I don't have the transcript. Apparently the transcript of the conversation is out online if you can find it. I think SE Scoops have a link to it on their website. WWE SE Scoops.
Yep.
So check it out if you can find it on there. Apparently it will give you all the information you want. John Cena!
John Cena!
Super Cena apparently tripped over some kryptonite this week as he bruised his ankle. Now it's not as bad as they were reportedly saying beforehand, that he had potentially torn his Achilles.
Can I mention something? I did actually have a video that I presented earlier on this week on my own personal channel, the Vampiric Vlogs, on my views, and I think we've also shared it on the BMF Wrestling as well, on my views on the whole issue with John Cena, and it wasn't that good. I mean, like, I'm not impressed with him whatsoever. It was just the same thing, like, he's not selling.
He's never sold.
He's never
Did you
sold.
not watch WrestleMania with him against The Rock? How he like completely no-sold like 15 rock bottom?
Exactly.
You know, there's a reoccurring meme going out at the moment is how he always kicks out at 2. You know, I saw one today which was frozen in carbonite, still kicks out at 2. You know, it's ridiculous. That's everyone sees it, but WWE doesn't. Is that they're making him the Superman who is no-sells everything apart from fake injuries. He sells them, no worries.
Oh, yeah.
So, now, I'm not saying the man didn't bruise his ankle, but don't put on like you've potentially ended your career and get all our hopes up and crush it.
Exactly.
Now, Edge is someone who's actually severely injured his Achilles, and you're insulting him by claiming you have had the same injury, and then, oh no, I'm fine to compete on Raw. You know, you're full of shit, Cena. I'm over you.
And not to mention, another thing I said was that he's not only a danger to others, he seems like he's a danger to himself. He's hurt himself.
Yeah, he's hurt himself, and he's hurt The Rock twice.
Yeah.
This is their big money drawer, The Rock, and he's been crippled twice by John Cena. Why are you keeping this guy in the main event?
And have him potentially injure the Shield.
Yeah, exactly. Your up-and-coming future. Speaking of, Shield versus Hell No and John
Cena.
Super Cena.
Yeah.
It was a good match.
It was. It was
It
really,
was.
really
It's
good.
got the Shield in it and Kane and Daniel Bryan. How could you go wrong?
Oh, yeah.
It was good to see a bit of Kane's aggressive streak back once again.
That was killer.
I always
That
love
was-
seeing Kane as the aggressive thing, not the one who stands in
Yeah.
and tries to grapple.
This
Always good to see them.
was not a grappling Kane at all. This was a dominating Kane. Finally.
it should be.
Finally.
Highlight of this match, apart from Kane, would have to have been that I finally get to see Roman Reigns get a pinfall.
Yeah.
Anyone who watches
And
the
a
show,
beautiful spear, man. That was a beautiful spear.
anyone who watches the show knows that out of the Shield, my favourite is Roman Reigns.
Of
I think
course.
he's the biggest. I've always liked the big guys.
Yeah.
Roman, I think, is the first one who will break out and become a WWE champion. Like Solomon Monster says it all the time, just like the Batista with Evolution. Is going to be the big guy who breaks out first.
One
Even
thing
though technically Orton did first, but he was kicked out of Evolution, not left on his own free
Yeah.
will.
Back to the Shield match and everything. Ambrose was surprisingly the one getting squashed most of the time out of the Shield members.
Oh, there you go.
You know, and Daniel Bryan. out of Team Hell No. He was getting
Well, Daniel Bryan you expect. You can't have exactly Kane get squashed, and you can't have Super Cena get squashed.
But Daniel Bryan, I must admit, kudos to him for putting on a really good match, putting on a really good show, and clearly showing to John Cena, the ref, and everyone else that he did not want to tag in John Cena.
I thought that was a nice touch.
That was a nice touch.
The unity of Hell No.
Yes.
And I don't care about John Cena. I thought that was nice. And this is the moment John Cena gets in the match, he gets speared and he loses.
Yeah.
So it's about time he jobbed to someone.
Exactly.
Anyway, it looks like we're going to have Hell No and Shield at Extreme Rules for tag titles. I'm hoping that the Shield will win, which I predict they more likely will.
Yeah.
That they'll win the tag titles, which will then lead to the breakup of Hell No, and then Kane becomes the monster that I've wanted back for years.
Hopefully.
This is in my mind. This is how it's playing out in my mind.
Yeah.
And then you have your new world title contender.
Now, what about your predictions for Extreme Rules for Cena and Ryback? I mean, what are you hoping for, and what are you predicting?
What I'd like is to see Ryback get the title. I think he'll go over really good as a heel champion. As that old badass.
But do you think he's ready to be that heel champion at the moment? I mean, he's got that build-up going for him.
I think he's doing good at the moment with his heels. The way he's going with it, you know, he's getting heat, he's showing a lot of character, and I think he's doing a lot better than he was prior to this. Yeah, exactly. As a face, he was not going anywhere. As a heel, there's a potential to go further.
Yeah.
Face is hard. Getting the fans to love you is hard. Getting the fans to hate you
is very
easy. So I think he'll get over better as a heel. Once he gets that hatred towards him, you'll start to get the fans who get behind him because they always love the heels.
But you're worried that him as a heel champion will suddenly just kill off all that build-up that he's been putting on?
I don't think so. I think because once he gets the belt, you then have the potential for every other person to come after it.
Yeah.
You have...
The WWE should make him a dominating champion though. They shouldn't make him like a cowardly one.
You can even tie this when CM Punk comes back, he chases it. The days of a heel having to go after a face or a face going after a heel are gone.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be that way anymore. You can have CM Punk come back as a heel, who the crowd cheers for anyway, pursuing.
Well, I think the days of actual heels and faces is almost pretty much on its way out.
It's all a blend now.
Everyone's blended.
Yeah, you got the biggest baby face of the company, which is John Cena, getting booed out of arenas on a weekly basis.
And you got the biggest heels like Dolph Ziggler's Ryback and
CM Punk,
who are getting all the cheers.
The CM Punk people hate, but they hate him so much they love him. You know, it's a different what they call it. They used to call it Boss Man Heat or X-Pac Heat.
Yeah.
Is that there's heels that you hate, but you still want to see. Like Edge was one of those that you hate. You still want to see him every week.
He was really good.
And then there were ones like X-Pac and Big Boss Man who you hated and you changed the channel when they were on the TV screen. Or Fandango Heat, I guess we can call it nowadays. Lose a million views.
Well, people are still Fandangoing. And
don't shut up.
That's sad.
Well, you still apologise to our fans for doing it at the beginning of the video. We tried to cash in, but we couldn't live with ourselves. That's why we stopped.
We stopped it.
Okay? So anyway, it looks like Hell No Shield. Title's changing. Ryback, Cena. I hope the title change.
Hopefully.
More than likely won't. It is Super Cena after all. The man, as far as I can remember, has not won a single pay-per-view appearance since his debut.
Yeah, no.
He's lost every pay-per-view he's been on.
He's got to win one.
He's due for a win.
He's due.
It has to happen, otherwise he's just going to get buried more and more. And he has to beat him clean to show that he can do it and that he is a top star. If they do some dirty finish, then it's just going to make him look weaker than they already have with losing every pay-per-view. So I think that he has to win clean. But the last bit of news we got this week, CM Punk has reportedly had his return pushed up. WWE, I think, are desperate. We're realising that, oh my god, we've let one of our top stars take time off and we've got no one else to fill his spot.
They've got to be careful with that too. He needs that time off. I mean, he needs
otherwise he's going to burn out. Okay. He tried to do it before, they brought him back too soon. And then he had a record-long title reign, working through injuries and surgeries and stayed there.
He's earned his time off.
Exactly.
You know, so as much as we want to see him come back, we don't want to see him come back, you know, at like 50% or 60%. We want to see him come back 100%.
You know, so CM Punk reportedly was supposedly going to be back around SummerSlam. Now they're actually pushed up significantly. They reckon by next month or so he'll be back. So we'll see what happens. I hope they give him the time off. As much as I miss watching the guy on TV every week, if he comes back, I look forward to seeing him. Although he still needs the time off to rest. I mean, he took a nasty bump at WrestleMania.
He did.
Anyway, one last bit of news before we go is there was an interview recently with Batista.
Oh yeah.
One of my favourites. Batista, I've always loved the guy.
Potential return?
He didn't rule it out. He said that he's focusing on his movie career right now. There's no MMA fights coming anytime soon. He said he's not planning a WWE turn, but he's not against one. So he is hoping that WWE will contact him and say, come back please, we're desperate. And we'll see a return of Batista. Anyway, that's it for this week.
Yep.
Don't forget to follow me on Twitter, @Violent.
Follow me on Twitter, @Vampiro45.
Don't forget to subscribe.
Subscribe.
To like the video.
Like.
The thumbs up.
Yeah,
Like the video.
That one.
Share it with all your friends. Share it on your Facebook. Share it on your Twitter.
Check out Adam Massacre's channel as well, right here.
Yep, Adam Massacre. Also, the link in the description below.
Mm-hmm.
And don't forget to go back and check out all our other videos.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
SC Scoops as well, you know.
SCScoops.com, where we get all our information. Go there, have fun.
Possibly the best source for your information.
One of the best, if not the best. It's certainly the one I go to, so.
Better than JR's barbecue sauce.
That's right. So anyway, until next time, guys.